Is there light at the end of the tunnel for Boeing?
Yeah, but it's up by Alpha Centauri, 4.3 light years away. This thing about raising the China forecast, ooh, wow, how nice. Like, we didn't know China's a big market and it's going to grow. The fact that they tweaked a little bit doesn't mean a whole lot. And it's just it's a non-thing.
It is. And I know that Sam wants to come in with a question, and she's really wanting to get in there with a question. But I just wanted to quickly follow up on that thought process that you outlined.
Yeah.
What about, so Boeing is saying China's doing great. We all know China's doing great. India is also doing great. There've been big orders from India as well. What about indigenous aircraft carriers in China, like Comac? How do you look at the prospects of that business? Thank you. Why are you saying thank you?
Thank you. Yeah, that 8,800 aircraft, 3/4 of that is narrow body. And up until last year, you either bought them from Boeing or Airbus. Comac, China's Comac started delivering in they went into service 2023. Okay. Now the order book for the Chinese C919 is it's reputed to be 1,000 or 1,100 units. And they want to hit 150 jets a year in the next 5 years. Okay. Now, if they do that, and I don't see why they wouldn't, that means that about 1/4 of that China demand actually ends up going to Comac. Now, that is if you believe China got into the commercial aviation industry to still let Boeing and Airbus make 3/4 of their narrow-bodied aircraft. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I think the long-term outlook is much more bearish than either Boeing or any of the industry consultants are willing to say.
Yeah, and it all comes down to, as you say, what they are willing to say. I mean, you mentioned the local competition, and, I'm curious to know what that would mean for the likes of Boeing, but also, this is void of any sort of geopolitical risk, because we've seen how sensitive China can be to some of that, particularly if the US and China go down this sort of regulatory spiral.
Well, you raised the right point. In the broader context, this is global great power competition. This is not a new thing. China has its goals, but also has its internal issues. The United States, the same. And conflicts get worse. When it's clear who's going to win and who can't win, you don't have so much of a conflict. When it's not clear is when things get muddy. So to your point, it's a battle for dominance. It's nothing short of that. Regulatory actions, things like that are just one small part of a bigger picture.